All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being flexible. Texas Tech shut down. We were kind of anticipating that happening yesterday, so glad that we kind of just took the plunge to do this. They did lock the doors down today to try to keep everybody safe. So stay warm. Feel free to eat as you're on our Lunch and Learn. We will host another one next month and make sure you are properly fed. So since we do owe that to you now. So today we're going to be talking about the Texas Tech Accelerator Program. And my name is Taysha Williams. I'm the managing director here. We also have some staff on the line that you've probably talked to at some point in time. And then we also have a mentor and a startup company that I'll introduce here in just a little bit. So first I'm going to go through just the app, like the accelerator program, what it is, how to apply, eligibility, and then I'm going to do a little Q&A session with a mentor and a startup team, and then we'll open it for questions. And may end early today, may not. We'll see how it flows, but please just let us know at any point in time you have questions. You can put them in the chat and we can get to them at the Q&A. So as you're thinking of them, go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to start just basically, I'm just showing, I don't have a PowerPoint here because I wanted you guys to be able to actually see on the website where you find this information. So any of the team that's on, stop me if you can't see something. Can you see me moving it? Okay, so under startup programs and events, if you go to the Texas Tech Accelerator competition, this is where you can see all of the information. So what is the accelerator? So the accelerator is an actual program. To get into the accelerator, we have a competition. There's two different tracks to the accelerator competition or program. You've got the business venture side. So if you have an idea that makes commercial value, you're going to sell it, a product, a service, anything like that, that promotes customer value, that would be the business venture right here. So you would apply through the business venture side, and I'll show you where that's at in a minute. If you have a social innovation, so you have an idea that makes social impact, you would apply through the Social Innovation Challenge. Both of those sites are pretty much the same application, just worded a little bit differently. That way it makes a little bit more sense for what type of venture that you're applying for. And it'll all land you into the same competition. The competition is scheduled for April 14th. It's a Friday. We'll have 12 finalists go through on the business venture side and 3 finalists on the social innovation side. So first, I'm going to talk about the competition itself before we get into the actual program. I'm going to go up here and we're going to go, I think I'm on that page. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so you're applying. Who can apply? So we're looking for the most promising, coachable startup teams. And I say startup teams because you do not have to be a company at this point. Okay, that's the first thing that you're going to do when you get into the accelerator. If you're not already a company, if you are, great. If you're not, we'll help you get to that point. You must be, at least one team member must be 18 years or older. If you're not affiliated with Texas Tech, that's no big deal. All applications are open to the public. We get our funding through the Lubbock Economic Development Alliance. And so we're so grateful for that. So that funding comes from them. So it is open to, again, students and faculty of Texas Tech, Texas Tech Health Sciences Center, and also the community. So to apply for the competition, it's pretty simple. One, you're going to review the program guidelines. I'll go through those here just a second. There's some frequently asked questions that I'll just kind of walk you through some of the past questions that we got in case we don't cover it today. You will need a business plan and you will need with an executive summary. So the executive summary is the first page of the business plan. We actually have Hub Camp this Saturday. And weather permitted, it is in person right now. We will have food. It starts at 9 a.m. If you are not registered for that and plan to apply for the accelerator, it's a really good idea that you do that. If you can't make that, let us know. We'll try to help you on the side. But this is going to walk through the business plan, all the different sections. It'll give you some ideas and some examples. You'll walk away with some handouts to really help you get your idea on paper. An executive summary is just the a one-pager of your overall business plan. You want it to be very, very competitive. And so we will bring in the experts to make sure that you know how to do that. You'll have to complete an application with the questions on Reviewer, and we're going to go through those here in just a minute. So that's just a platform that when you click to submit your application, that's where it'll take you. You'll upload your business plan on that platform. You'll also have a pitch presentation deck. You'll need a resume of the primary applicant. You'll need one letter of recommendation. That's going to could be for anybody. So it could be a faculty member that you've worked with. It could be somebody in the industry. We really like to see that you've already made a partner or somebody from the industry that knows what you're doing, that supports what you're doing. That'll be really good. Again, we're looking for coachability in the team that's going to really do it. So we want to see that you actually have some connections out there. Don't let that stress you out too much. We actually have templates that you can kind of go off of. And then this is new this year, which is a demonstration. So this could be a video. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold. Wireframes, diagrams, or storyboards that answers how the technology or product or service works. So if you're a social innovation, what are you trying to do? How does it work? What's the process look like? So examples of a demo would be if you are doing a device or product, could be a physical prototype. If you're doing a phone app, it could be a wireframe or a storyboard. Process or service, an illustration or layout of the process. We added this because we want to make sure that when you get into the accelerator program, that you actually have a plan in place, like a proof of concept that you've thought through this, you really know how it's going to work, so that our mentors can pick that up at that point and really try to walk you through the next steps. So I'll show you where you can upload those as well. And then this is the button right here that'll take you to Reviewer. And then I'm going to pass it over to Ganga to walk you through Reviewer really quick. So I'm going to stop sharing and let Ganga go through that and the application questions. And then I'll come back on and show you the pitch deck, business plan, and go through some of the frequently asked questions.
Thanks, Taysha. So let me share my screen now. Okay. So Taysha stopped here at the web page. So if you click the link, it will open to a reviewer page. If you're new, you can create a new account or log in if you've already submitted an application for any of the Innovation Hub programs. So once you click open the application, this is what would show up. And we ask you to give you a company or a team name, select the industry, and summarize your idea in a brief sentence. Then we will be asking for some demographic information. And then if you have a logo, you can upload it right here. If you have a business, you can update that information here. If you do not have a business, you can say no, and you can only talk about how many founders you might have in the company. If you have a partnership agreement in place, feel free to say no if you don't have all of that. And then if you are looking to hire more people, if you have job descriptions for them, you can upload them as well. Then we talk about what is the problem or product or service that you're solving, who is your customer, what is the size of the market, how much has it grown in the past few years, and what is its projected growth. And these are some of the information that you would include in your business plan as well. What companies or substitute products make up for your competition, what attributes will make this idea product successful, and why. So we ask that you give some brief descriptions for this. I mean, for an example point of view, these are just a single statement, but the more information you can give, the more competitive your application will be. Then we ask about any intellectual property that you may have related to this technology. And if you have more information about that, you can fill it out. If you have a website, please share the URL for that. What are the medium and long-range milestones that you intend to achieve with this program? or with your company, if you have generated revenue, the risks of your program, and what is your exit strategy. So these are some of the information you would have to fill out. And then these are the materials that you would have to upload: a final business plan. And the HubCamp session on Saturday is something that can help you create this, a final pitch deck, and as Taysha mentioned, a demo, which can be a video, a wireframe, diagram, or storyboard. And then you would attach the resume of a CEO and a letter of reference. And then click submit. The deadline is February 22nd, 11:59 p.m. So before midnight, all applications have to be submitted. Any questions?
Thank you, Ganga. All
You're
right,
welcome.
so
Stop sharing.
yeah, we're just gonna throw all this information at you, so it may not be the most interesting information, but it is all very relevant, and that way you know where to find it, what we're looking for. But just know we're here, Ganga and I. Kevin, if you've talked to Kevin, he's gonna be out for a couple weeks. They're having a baby, so that's exciting. So if you have been communicating with Kevin, I just wanted to say that please reach out to Ganga or myself. Well, if you could can you put our emails in the chat just to make sure you have it? Because he might be a little hard to reach in the next couple weeks. So reach out to us. We have office hours. We have 56 industry mentors that can help you. If you just need some information about a specific industry, that would be great. Yes, it is. So international students, yes, let's go through that. You would have to have a visa. But the person on your team, I don't know where I'm trying to think where it says that. It cannot be like a full team of international students, and because you would have to be, as long as you're going to be here for a full year. So the program runs for a full year. Do you have anything to add on that, Ganga?
Yes, if you are a company, if you're looking to form a company, there may be restrictions if you are an international student on a visa. So you may have to have a co-founder or someone who does not have those restrictions.
Yes, perfect. Okay, I'm going to walk through. Oh, let's see another question. Do you have any mentors in the mental health sector? Yes. We have, I know somebody, they're not an official mentor, but I know somebody that I can get you in touch with. So reach out to me on the side. I'll connect you with that person. She's actually the director of the mental health initiative here. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through the evaluation process now. So let me share my screen, see if I can do this right. Can you see this? All right, look at me go. All right, so this is the actual rules. So make sure you guys read these backwards and forward. It's backwards. She's laughing at me. Read it thoroughly because there's a lot of really good information in here. So once you submit, the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to go into the reviewer platform. Our industry mentors will be divided based on their industry expertise. So you will, the best that we possibly can, have a mentor that is in your industry be reading your plan. So we can't guarantee it if it's something that we don't have, but we do our very, very best to make sure that somebody, at least one out of the 5 mentors that are reading yours, understands that industry. So round 1 is our mentors and judges will be reading and scoring the applications. There'll be however many applications we have, all of them will be read and go through the selection process. And then we'll take it down to the top 12 finalists. This says 10, but we do 12 for the accelerator. You'll move on to round 2. If you're in the social innovation, it'll be the top 3 that moves on. Round 2 is virtual pitch day. This is 50% of your final score. So the team will be invited to pitch. So you'll actually give a 10-minute pitch. We'll have mentors and some other evaluators on the call at that point. You'll pitch it without really any guidance from us, just like if it was competition day, they'll give you some feedback, kind of take some notes, things like that. They'll give you some feedback that you can then incorporate into the final competition. So every time that you see mentors in these different rounds, take that as a mentoring session and write down what they're saying and go back and make changes. Even though they are judging you at that point, 50%, please take their information. They will give you lots of it. So, all right. So each team will have the opportunity to demonstrate their product or service. So again, if you have that demonstration, which you have to have, we want to see it then. Everybody from that point on will move forward. So the top 10 or the top 12 for the venture side, the top 3 for social innovation will move forward to round 3. Round 3 is interviews. We will probably just do 30-minute interviews. We'll set the time with you that's based the best that we can on your schedule and on the mentor schedule. There'll be at least 3 mentors and a Innovation Hub team member in those interviews. What we're looking for here, coachability, really get to know you and your team. Really try to understand what you're doing, not a pitch, but more of just a conversation. We will have some questions for you to make sure that you understand what the program is and kind of what you're getting into, and just really the feasibility of your team in the program, your knowledge of the program, and again, coachability. And then you will move to the final round. So final presentation, this is 10% of your final score. So all of them are weighted to give you that 100% score. This is the final presentation. You'll have 10 minutes with we'll have about a 2-minute grace period for switching presenters. And we normally give you anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes for Q&A. So depending on what the panelists want to do. So this will be a completely different pitch session than the mentor pitch. This is the actual competition. This is the one on April 14th that's in front of the public. It's during our Discoveries to Impact conference. So we should have a lot of people in the crowd. You'll pitch for 10 minutes. They'll give you feedback right there. They'll score, you'll sit down, the next team will come up, and we'll do that both for the business ventures and then the social innovation challenge. And then we party. We have a big party here at the Innovation Hub. After it's over, you get, if you're selected at that point, we'll select anywhere between normally 6 to 8. We have room for 8 teams in the accelerator and 1 team in the social innovation challenge for 9 total teams to go through the cohort. We have picked 8 in the past, and sometimes we've picked 6. So it just depends on how many they think are ready to go into the program. So if you look here, here is the scorecard that they're going to be going off of. Management. So they're going to be looking at your team. How well do you explain this in your business plan? So this is for the first round judges, the one that's on reviewer. For the actual competition day, they're going to be looking at how well you pitch it. They're going to how well do they understand the concept? Is there market opportunity? Things like that. So it's a little bit of different rubric, and we'll explain that along the way. These are the ones that you really need to make sure that you cover in your business plan. Market opportunity. Have you investigated that there is a market for this? Product and service. How well do you explain what it is so they can understand? Technology. If it's not technology, how does it work? You still got to let them know. Strength versus competition. Your financials, your operational planning, ability to handle risk. So you've identified that there are some challenges and risks, but you're able to overcome those by how was what they're looking for. How are you going to do that? Your demonstration, and then your exit strategy. If you're on here for the social innovation challenge, your rubric's slightly different. Management, market. So this is the population. So who are you serving? What types of people? What are the ages? Product or service? Innovation. So instead of technology, it uses the word innovation. So what is that you're creating? Because it may not be a technology. Again, strength versus competition, financials, operational planning, ability to handle risk, demonstration, and financial sustainability. So instead of exit strategy here, we're looking on how are you going to raise additional money? How are you going to be sustainable? Okay, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop for a few seconds. Can you see this one? Oh, that was easy. Few seconds to check the chat and make sure we don't have any. I'm just reading it really quick. Gonga, do you see the chat message? Will you read that one and respond to him?
Yes.
I think that's a good question for you, and you can put it in the chat so everybody can see that.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go through the timeline here, and then I'm going to really just open it up for some just communication around the program. But here's the timeline. So application deadline 24th, it says here, but we've moved it to the 22nd. So remember that. We'll update this before you get it. Right after that, so the 24th is our internal deadline to make sure that we are ready to give it to the judges. So between the 22nd and the 24th, this is when we will evaluate, make sure that all of your everything opens and works, that all of the pieces are there, that you have completed everything. Please try to be on time. It's due on February 22nd at 11:59 p.m. So when it turns midnight, it shuts off and you won't be able to get in. If you have any kind of technology glitches, you are struggling with something, just reach out. We are constantly watching that day to help you. Please don't let some small thing stop you from applying. We've seen that in the past, and all it was a very small fix on our end that we could help with. So just, don't get frustrated. Just be very open with us. We'll help you. And then from February 27th to March 12th will be round one. This is where they're actually online getting the top 12 finalists. March 15th, we'll announce that. We'll announce it through email. So you'll get an email. We're going to give you like 24 hours to respond and confirm your spot as a finalist. So what that means is that you're going to confirm that you're going to complete all of the other steps. You're going to look at your calendar and know that you can, do the interviews during this time and all that. So we'll give you all of those dates and you'll be able to just confirm, yes, I'm going to move forward. So the last thing we want is to identify somebody and then we, gave you a spot in the finalist, but then you didn't complete the process. All right. And then virtual pitch day, March 22nd. So this is where it'll be virtual. You'll see the mentors and you'll have a presentation. You can use the same presentation deck as the one that you submitted. So you do not have to do a different one. We may, if there is some comments on reviewer, we could send those to you if we feel like it'll be helpful for you to make some adjustments before you come in. We can do that. Round 3 will happen between March 27th and 31st. We'll give you a way to sign up for that, and then evaluation process. And then on the 3rd, so this is April 3rd, we have what's called a tech check day. There's no score at that point. You're just coming in and you're practicing. So this will be in person. You'll use the microphone. We want you to come in business suit. We're going to have business attire, photos, and you'll get to do all of the PR stuff that day, which is really fun. And then 11th through 14th of April is our Discoveries to Impact conference. As a finalist, you'll have the opportunity to attend any of everyone's welcome, no matter if you're a finalist or not. But you'll be able to go to any of the conference activities, which is really great. We'll have a keynote speaker, luncheon, all of these things, meet lots of people. And then on the 14th is the final competition. Any questions about the timeline? All right, let me go through the frequently asked questions really quick, just to make sure there's nothing I missed telling you. And then we'll open it up. Okay, so who can join? Again, we said you do not have to have formed an entity. It could be anybody. Why should you apply? Because not only do you get $25,000, you get a team of mentors that stay with you throughout the whole year. When we say a year, we're talking about 12 months, and we're not saying that you have to be housed at the Innovation Hub, and we're not even saying that you have to be in person the whole time. There will be some in-person events, some virtual events, and we'll give you that all up front. You'll receive an orientation, so you know everything that's going to happen that year. It's a very prestigious program. You get looked at by different investors. We try to make sure that you get the proper connections. So I would say more than the $25,000, the value of the networking, shared services. So you've got access to the Innovation Hub 24/7. You've got access to conference rooms, mentors, all of that. How do you get funding, and do we take equity? So you get $25,000. It's through a grant. You get it in 2 tranches, is what we call 12/5 each. We have quarterly milestones. And so in the first quarter, we give you your milestone list, and it's, you know, setting up your company, make sure that you have your mentor team, make sure that your team is in place, just all of the basic housekeeping stuff. You signed your contract, all of that, then you get your first tranche. Then you move into quarter 3, quarter 2, quarter 3, about quarter 3, we're like, okay, if you're up to date on all your milestones, you know, getting a website, starting to market, doing all of these things, getting your business plan, you know, secured and everything, then you can invoice for your second tranche. So you could have all of your money in the fall. And no, we do not take equity. This is, again, funding from the Lubbock Economic Development Alliance. So we're super blessed to be able to provide this without having to take any equity. Okay. We talked about how the program selects companies. Yes, you need a business plan. A lot of people ask, should I worry about protecting my idea? And will you sign a non-disclosure agreement? The answer is, our mentors that are official Texas Tech mentors, and you can see all of them on our website, including our staff, have signed NDAs. So what that means is you can share as much information with us as you would like and feel comfortable with, and we are not allowed to share that information. So with that said, we also want you to reach out if you don't feel comfortable with some of it, you think that you have a potential patent idea and you haven't gone through that process, we can get you started with that right away so that you can disclose information and feel comfortable with that. But again, we're not asking you for your secret sauce at this point. We will dive into some serious conversations about how you think it'll work and things like that. But our mentors are covered under an NDA, so we won't sign your NDA, if that makes sense. But again, it is all completely up to you with what you want to share. Can you submit more than one idea? Sure. Only one will be accepted. And do I have to stay in West Texas once I graduate? We prefer that you do. We also prefer, well, it is a requirement that if you already have a company, but your company address is located out of the state of Texas, you need to move it to Texas. Okay, so we do have somebody in the accelerator program right now that does not live here in Texas, but had to move her company address to Texas. That is a requirement. Again, our funding's from Lubbock Economic Development Alliance. They want us to build companies here. So that's a really big deal for us. If you're from outside of Lubbock, that's okay. But read the rules so you understand kind of what we're looking for. And yes, do you have to start the company in the US? Yes. All right. And then I'm accepted into the program. Now what? You'll have an orientation, like I said. You'll have a chance to meet our mentors, interview our mentors. We'll give you about a 2-week period to set up some coffee meetings and virtual meetings to kind of really just identify the mentors that you want on your team. Then we give you an option to submit your wish list of mentors. And the mentors get to submit their wish list of startups, and then we pair them. And that's how your mentor team is selected. You'll have 90-minute meeting per month that you lead. So you can think of your mentors as an advisory board. They're here to help you. So you get to, based on the milestones, you get to put on that agenda what is meaningful to you. And so you get to start the meeting with everything that you want your mentors to know, anything that keeps you up at night, anything that you're worried about. They offer advice, connections, things like that. And then there is an advanced hub camp class. That's 90 minutes once per month. We do some of these virtual and some of them in person. Again, we'll let you know way in advance when those are. But we bring in experts to come in and talk. Some of the classes include, how do I form a company? Is this the right formation for me? Some tax information. How do I talk to investors? All of those things. We like to say it's a mini MBA. So it's like MBA in a box, really quick. We give you books to read. If you're, interested in diving deeper, we'll give you lots of other resources. Very, very good information. Okay, any questions on this? All right. Okay, I'm looking at the chat. You mentioned a 4-year time. Can you please explain that for 4-year? I think I said for a year, 1 year. Does that make sense? It's a 1-year program. It goes from April to April. So we're actually right now for cohort 6, we're starting Q4. So we're just ending Q3, starting quarter 4, which means they're in their last 3 months of the program. And so by this point, they should be ready to they should be either launching their company or very, very close to it. And starting to get investments if they haven't already. And we'll hold a graduation ceremony that I'd love for everybody to attend, even if you weren't selected. If you were selected, you'll be invited to do that as well. Our cohort 6 will be graduating, and then our cohort 7 will come in and we'll do a ribbon cutting with the business community to welcome you guys into the program. So yes, if you graduate in December 2023, you can still apply. It's open to anybody. So students, faculty, community members, as long as you're over the age of 18 or one member of your team is over 18, it's open to anybody. So yes. All right, so speaking of the accelerator and getting ready and should be launching our company, we actually have a accelerator team with us today, the founder, Mason Still, and he is with Blueverse, which is launching today. We're super excited. So what a great day to have this. We also have Marcus Pauda. He is a mentor and the lead mentor for Blueverse. So I wanted to bring you guys on to kind of just walk through the process and the journey that you've been on this past year. I think we were the boring part. You guys are the exciting part. So we had to get through the meat of the program. Still feel free, everybody, to chat your questions. We'll answer those as we go. And think of questions for Mason and Mason and Marcus, sorry. So the first question, I guess, let's just introduce yourself. Mason, who you are, what Blueverse is, just a little bit about your team, and then same Marcus, what are you doing? Why are you mentoring? And then a little bit about you. So we'll start with you, Mason.
Cool. Hey, everybody. So yes, as Taysha said, my name is Mason. I am the president and CEO here at Blueverse. We are actually members here in the hub. So we have an office here right next to Marcus is actually our lead mentor. So that gets to be really fun. So, a big thing I will say about this program that helped us when we came in here, and I like to lay this out for everyone, is the idea that we came into the accelerator with is no longer the idea that our product is today. I think that's really important to note for everybody, because that's kind of why you're doing this process and going through it, is that, you are going to go through this kind of iteration of your own idea. And it's funny because when we came into this, we thought our idea was so awesome that we wouldn't let anybody change it ever. But because your idea as an entrepreneur is just like kind of your baby and your child, and you want to watch it grow and flourish, and sometimes you just can't. And so when we went through this, we went through iCore as well, and that helped us a lot with customer discovery. So what our company actually does is we started out wanting to do stuff around like data monetization for the individual user. We as co-founders all really love data privacy, and we all loved these problems that we had, and we thought our problems were everyone's problems, and the truth is they are just not. And so a lot of times you'll find that through customer discovery. And so we've actually ended up pivoting through all the customer discovery we did, and we have basically built what you could call, a lot of people are calling, a better Yelp. It's basically like a kind of like that, but it's like more of a Gen Z version. So you get to like, dislike, follow friends. And it's more in a style of what Gen Z, our generation of college students, is kind of used to. And so there's rewards that businesses are able to release through it and all that good stuff. And so, I just like to always say, like, this program has helped me a ton, because yes, you are going to have people, that are going to pick at your idea, and you have to be willing to go through that as an entrepreneur. And everything that I've learned up to this point is because of this program and because of this hub. Like, I really don't think that we would have continued as a company if it was not for this program, just because there's so many late nights as an entrepreneur where things get rough. You don't know if your idea is going to make it or not. So I would say, my recommendation is always to go through with something like this, because it pits more people around. It just pits more people in your corner, and the more people in your corner, the more likely you're going to be to have success. So.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, Marcus.
Hey everyone, my name is Marcus, and happy to be joining you all today. I am the founder and CEO of a company that is inside the Innovation Hub. Also, it is called Campus Live. And really what we're doing is we're just a good resource for connecting and engaging Texas Tech, its entire student body, alums, and just proud community members who want to know and be informed of what is happening at Texas Tech. And we do that in a digital and a social way. And essentially what we've done is we've kind of combined the student newspaper, local media outlets, alumni magazine, athletics department news, and we bring that to you every single day in a social platform. So that was our idea when we competed. And I come from both aspects of the Innovation Hub. I've been on these meetings and attended these meetings, and started with an idea and attended Hub Camp and Red Raider Startup, and competed in the Accelerator Program. It's been a long journey, but it's been one that I've been very thankful for. So you're definitely in the right spot if you have an idea and you're trying to commercialize it. The Innovation Hub has just been a key tool for me and my company. And I'm so excited for every single one of you. I will just give you a little bit of advice. Be coachable, ask questions. The biggest thing that mentors are looking for when you're competing is sometimes really, the idea is very important, but the people. And the mentors want to know that they've got the right group of people who are going to be committed throughout the year-long process, people who are open to coaching and constructive criticism, and taking all those ideas and just really polishing up your idea. And so I would just say that's a really big part of it. From the mentor side, I've had the great honor of being a mentor this year, and it's been really, really fun mentoring Mason and Blueverse. And it's just neat to see it from the other perspective now. And on the mentor side, I can't echo what I just said and how important that is. With Mason and his team, they're very, very coachable. I love how, they started the program with one idea and then they adapted. And that's going to be a big part of your idea and your involvement with the Innovation Hub, is really, really just taking that advice from the team. The staff at the Hub is second to none. And I would venture to say you're in probably one of the best accelerator programs in the country. And so out of this, I hope that you all get some good advice. We can commercialize your ideas. You're coachable, and hopefully we'll see you. We'll see who gets on into the program, and we'll get you through it throughout the year and get you graduated and get your product to market.
Thank you. It's funny because you took one of my questions. I was like, hey, he's done this before. He's awesome. Yeah, he is a superstar because he went from the iLaunch competition to the accelerator and now giving back as a mentor. So, and a tenant here. So all of the things that we want to see from a startup team to being a part of our startup community. It's awesome. So Mason, what's something that maybe you learned this year that you weren't expecting to learn? Because I feel like out of a lot of the young student teams that you kind of had the most knowledge coming in. So was there something that you learned that you didn't think that you would?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I always tell people that we learn now as first-time founders looking back on is go to market. It's something that your mentors are going to really push for you to do. And it's tough because there's always going to be that thing where it's like, well, if we just fix this one more bug or just one more iteration or just hold on, that's just not right. One more fix, one more fix. It's just like, it's just addicting. And it just gets to this point where you will literally never go to market. And so I think the most important thing that I learned from the hub and anything, any projects or ventures moving forward, I will always make sure to go to market quicker, because the quicker you go to market, the sooner you're going to get real feedback from people. And, I think, I forget which one of our mentors said this, it might've been Marcus, but they said, you'll know that you have something when, you have a customer that isn't your mom. And that is the truth, because once you can provide value for just at least one person, then you have something, and then you can continue to really iterate on that. So I also will say this: when you go to market, do not just take there. You're going to get a bunch of feedback. That doesn't mean you just have to take every person's opinion and then just turn it into a new idea within your product. As an entrepreneur, it's your job to dig into people's problems, not their solutions. So you look into people's problems, really dig into it, and then you create your own solution as the entrepreneur. And that's how I've always looked at it.
Awesome. So we have a chat question for you, Mason.
Oh, let me pull it up.
Yeah, could you expand on what your initial idea or product was and what inspired you to change it?
Yeah, absolutely. So our initial product and idea was that we wanted to basically build something where we would get people to pick content onto our platform, and then through engaging with different types of content, that would basically give you like data points, and those data points, we would then allow you to monetize those data points into like gift cards and daily payouts and things like that. And honestly, we just couldn't find the traction. I mean, we really felt like the problem that we had and the want for this data monetization idea was something that everybody wanted to. And when we tried to explain it to people, it just went right over everyone's head. And so to what really inspired us to change it was when I walked into, I really just, when you tell your idea to enough college students, which is what we wanted our market to be, and every one of them, even our friends, it was going over their head. That was really okay, so this is probably not going to work. And it was tough. It was really hard because, like I said, that idea was our baby. Like we just thought it was the coolest and best thing in the world. And I still think it is. And one day I'd love to pursue it. But, we ended up going into classrooms through iCore. So I would go in around our idea and I'd be like, how many of you guys ever use Yelp? And all hands would go up, right? How many of you ever have based your decision off a review on Yelp? All hands stayed up. And I was like, how many of you have ever left a review on Yelp? All hands went down. And we did the same thing for all review platforms, Facebook, Google reviews, and everything. And we found our kind of hole in this market, that in our kind of generation, and people don't really have a true place to interact with local businesses. And so that's what we actually ended up setting out to build and found success through.
That's great. I'm going to answer the next question from the chat. It says on the website, there's also.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, I just responded to it.
Perfect. Yeah, so the question was, just so everybody knows, yeah, on the website, there's also an award called the President's Innovation Award. Can I apply for both, or do one now and do one at another time? Just like Ganga said, you can do both. You could do one for, really, I would say if you're going to do either one first, it would be the accelerator. Do that first, because you have to be a company to apply for the President's Innovation Award. So if you're not a company, you're coming into the accelerator to be a company, I would recommend doing that one first. But again, you can apply for this one, and the President's Innovation Startup will be open fall of 2023. And just like Ganga mentioned, both Campus Live and Blueverse applied and received this award. So definitely a good one to do post accelerator.
Yeah, also something I'd like to add too is that I know when we came into this, honestly, we looked at $25,000 and all the grant money, and we were like, that is why we want to do this, because we wanted that grant money to increase our product and to get our product to market. And I promise you, the money has been great, but more so than anything is just the ability, just the amount of people that are in our corner now. We can email so many different people and be like, hey, do you have a connection to this or a connection to that or anything? And like, you're just always going to be able to get to some sort of decision maker and whatever you want. Like someone asked if someone knew a mental health person, and Taysha's like, yeah, of course, I know the head of mental health here in Lubbock, right? Like that's the truth, and it's going to help you so much. Like the money is awesome, but I'm telling you, the connections that it will do for your company is bar none.
Yes. All right, as more questions come in the chat, what would you, either one of you, because you both were in the accelerator, but sometimes we see just in our 6th year of this, we see applicants that go all the way to the finish line and then don't submit because something's holding them back. What advice would you give to them to just go ahead and see it through, whether they feel like they're ready or not? Just what would you say to them?
I would say just do it.
Yeah,
Like Mason,
for real.
like Mason just mentioned, he was pretty dead set on his idea. Just do it and be adaptable. Do it and know that you have a team that's in your corner, and you've got a university and an organization like LEDA that we're very fortunate to have programs like this. So you really, I guess in my opinion, don't have much to lose, and really only, the possibility to gain. And so I would say just take that step, run with it, and be adaptable.
Yeah, I was going to say that exact same thing. You literally have nothing to lose. Like, I mean, that's the best way to put it. The only thing sitting on the table for you is more exposure for your company, $25,000, connections to anybody that you need to be connected to. It really is a no-brainer. I would say if you're at the end and you have any sort of hesitancy, I always feel like that is just a little bit of fear. And like, honestly, as an entrepreneur, like, sometimes you have to toss that stuff out the window, because like you will come to find out soon that like you're gonna have to put yourself in front of you're gonna have to put yourself in awkward situations sometimes, some stuff that you just aren't comfortable with, but it'll grow you as a person. It has me for sure. I mean, I'm a much better speaker and all of that because of this. I mean, I would love to look back on that intro presentation.
Yeah.
I may add, I was nervous, and actually, if I have to be honest, I was intimidated to apply to the accelerator.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to change media, and my platform is social media and digital. And I was, when I attended the sessions, I realized that a lot of the ideas were very research and technology driven. And at one point, I even second guessed myself if I wanted to apply to the accelerator. And I'm glad I did. So I'm living proof that you're going to have, some fears, or you're going to be a little nervous, but just take that step and don't look back.
Love it. All right, last chance to ask some questions to Mason or Marcus or just the Innovation Hub team about the process before we go outside in this awful weather.
Yeah, feel free to lay them on us. We're ready for them.
Give it a second to see if anybody. All right, Mason.
Yeah, so that was actually something that we were kind of lacking in at the time. I'll read the question. So how much research, how many surveys did you conduct before joining the hub and going to the hub? So that was something that we didn't even realize how bad we were lacking in. I mean, we had done what we thought was customer discovery, but it was really just because we all have this intuitive salesman in us. We were basically selling people on our idea and then being like, so you would use it? And they were like, yeah. And then, we come to find out through iCore that is not how customer discovery works. And if anything, I would say that, I could answer your question, and, over 300 people we probably talked to about our idea before coming to the hub. But when I look back on it, we didn't really talk to those people just based on what Ganga and everyone taught us through iCore. Now we realize what a true customer discovery conversation is. So, that's another thing that's super valuable is just learning how to conduct research. Because I know it seems like almost kind of simple, but sometimes we as entrepreneurs kind of ask loaded questions in order to get the responses we want, because we're scared to hear that no, or I think this is a bad idea. So I hope that kind of answers your question.
That's good. Anything else? While we're waiting for any other questions, if you haven't already met with somebody from the Innovation Hub team, reach out to us. I think you put our information up here. Reach out to us. We'll do a one-on-one session with you between now and the application date, just to walk through what you have. You know, kind of just go over any other questions from today, any specific questions related to your industry or the application process. So, and then also a reminder, Hub Camp on Saturday, this Saturday here at the Innovation Hub, starting at 9 a.m. We will have food for you, and we'll go through the business plan and pretty much, you know, a lot of detail, so that you'll be able to ask a lot of questions. There's 2 faculty that we bring in to help you with that. All right. Any final words, Mason or Marcus?
Yeah, another thing I'll say before we go is also this is really going to help y'all with fundraising as well. Being able to notch that you are in an accelerator program and looking to graduate from an accelerator program goes a super long way with investors, because they know that not that you have a safety net necessarily, but that you do have some kind of supporting cast. And I think that was a huge reason that a lot of those earlier investors took a shot on us. So that's about it for me.
Yes.
I guess my takeaway would be really just have fun with it too. The Innovation Hub and the mentors are really kind of helping you place your mindset in that you are already a formed company, and the knowledge and the feedback that you're going to get throughout the year-long program, as Taysha mentioned, you know, you will meet, I don't know if it's virtual or in person this year, but you will meet one evening a month. And during that time, you're going to get amazing education about entrepreneurship and running a business, and how do you market your business, and how do you become profitable. And I mean, just so many things. How do you engage investor conversations, and just things I would have never have known as a business owner if I didn't have these resources available to me. So have fun with it, but you're going to get a lot of really, really good stuff for free.
Yeah, there's someone to answer every question for sure.
Okay, great. We had past the accelerator. Okay. Here. Sorry, I was reading a chat. The message about the company in Turkey, if you'll stay on the line, I'll talk with you after this, so we can talk through that. All right, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to stop the recording.